Yo, 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 ladies and gentlemen, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Mad love and respect, guys. It has been a little while. I haven't been too well myself. I lost my voice. Now that's back, and it's going to be the start of a new trading week. We're about to bring that fire to you in tonight's video and prepare you for what's to come going into the start of next week. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are new to the channel, you know what the flavor is. Let's have a conversation. So, Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been flirting with this psychological 20K range, ladies and gentlemen. The more it holds this zone, the more traders are led to believe that it's going to hold, and then when it does hold, it's going to break even higher. But guys, we have ourselves a lot of information coming out this week. We're going into next week, and we need to be preparing ourselves for some big bad boy volatility in the charts. Check this out. Tomorrow, it is the funeral of the Queen of England. Now, that means the UK markets will be closed. But going into the rest of the week, ladies and gentlemen, we have a plethora of news announcements being rolled out. And quite frankly, for those of you who are volatile savvy and you like those fast movements, be prepared, because we are going to have a party in the markets, ladies and gentlemen. There's going to be more fire being brought to you guys, especially in Bitcoin and assets across the board. We'll be starting off on Wednesday, when the Fed actually declares its economic projections, the statement, and the federal funds rate. Now, the Fed is calling for 75 base points, and it looks like that might be locked in. Word on the street says that they could be flirting with the idea of 100 basis points, but let's be honest. If they do increase it by 100 basis points, that will shock the markets across the board. That'll be a problem for foreign trade across the world. Why? Because it will be too expensive to do business using the dollar. If you look at the dominance of the dollar right now, we correlate the dominance of the dollar to Bitcoin because Bitcoin trades against the value of the US dollar. And if traders are seeking the safety of the dominance of the dollar is going to keep on moving up, ladies and gentlemen. And we have ourselves a vector point in the chart right here that we need to be fully aware of. Principle would have it that we have two zones in the chart that we need to be aware of. We've got this big imbalance right here, ladies and gentlemen, where an influx of traders and investors came in and sought the dollar because of the CPI data that was rolled out last week. That led to Bitcoin's collapse straight down, ironically enough, back into the vector candle recovery point. More importantly, you got the same behavior from Ethereum, ladies and gentlemen. She comes down, rips price to the downside, fully recovers all of the vector candles in the charts, ladies and gentlemen, and even lower. Thank you very much for the merge, Vitalik. Great merge right there. Ethereum complete collapse to the downside, completely taking back all the vector candles in the zone. A lot of people were probably picking up Ethereum because of the fear of the fact that this new merge itself means that Ethereum cannot be mined anymore. That's a sad sight for those guys picking it up. Now, for the holders of Ethereum, it may not be a sad sight. You know, because Ethereum is pretty expensive, given that from its highs, it was at 2,000 recently. And then, of course, it's now down at 1,300. Happy days. You're now picking up Ethereum cheaper. All right. But what if this move by Ethereum is sustained and it continues even lower? We do have vector candle presence in the zones, and we need to be fully aware of those points in the chart, ladies and gentlemen. You've got Ethereum at between $1,200 and $1,300 right there, ladies and gentlemen, where the previous pools of liquidity reside, and the same down at the between the 1,080 going all the way up into this 1,172. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, with Ethereum, let me just quickly roll over back to Bitcoin just to bring you some understanding on what else is in line for Bitcoin moving forward going into this week, next week. You've got vector presence inside of this zone right here, but if we actually look at Bitcoin further back, we've got the problem down here, ladies and gentlemen, at 17. Check this out. You can see that Bitcoin has got another vector zone, all right? You've got at 18,669. And on top of that, you have this area right here. So from the start of this point at 19,127, these are the two next vector points in the chart for Bitcoin. All right. And then you've got the final zone down here at 17,954. And then, of course, at the final point, we're going down here at 17,598. If Bitcoin breaks beyond the 17,598, ladies and gentlemen, we will then be looking forward to Bitcoin on the weekly time frame coming back into these vector candle ranges right here. We have the problem of this vector stopping candle right here, which is a point of where liquidity resides by the market maker. This is where he builds his shorts from. Now, you're probably thinking, why would he build his shorts from there and allow price to continuously move up so aggressively? Well, think about it. If you have a business and you know you can sell at higher prices, are you going to stop increasing your prices? No, you're not, because you know you're going to find someone to sell into. So likewise, when price comes all the way back down again, it comes for the transaction, bang, Mr. Market Maker gets paid, because the same people that are in fear are selling. You can only sell if someone buys. This is the nature of the game, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we're going into the start of a new week in the next 4 hours, guys. Principally, we would expect Bitcoin to come back up and recover some of this red vector candle, but the recovery of red vectors might be short-lived, given that we do have a lot of news coming out next week. A lot of traders are going to be sat on the sidelines, okay? Understanding these vector candle points, we need to understand if the money is present. We know the money is present, but how much is present? Which leads us over to the liquidations chart itself. In front of you, you can see we have two particular zones in Bitcoin. Now, these are the last 7 days of Bitcoin right now on Binance, all right? Now, this is for futures traders, guys who are picking up leverage and trying to trade Bitcoin and building positions using leverage, right? In front of us, we can see two interesting zones. At the top side, we have $5.4 billion worth of short liquidations at the 20,450, okay? Traders out there are on the belief that price can't go any higher. That's why a lot of traders have opened positions and got liquidations at 20,450, okay? Down below, we have $4.3 billion. And of course, in between that, 3.5. And then below that, we have 3.4. And of course, around 2 billion. Yeah, where is it? Just right in that point right there. What is that? $3.4 billion worth of long liquidations between the 17 zone, 18,005, all the way down to the 17,800 point, which if we marry that up to our chart, would lead us into these vector recovery points in Bitcoin. The question on your heads is this: which is it going to go for first? Just because that's closer doesn't mean that they will come towards it. You just don't know. All right? If the market in principle is going to drop down, principally, we would expect price to go back up, okay? A lot of the pressure is going to come from the S&P and the NASDAQ, ladies and gentlemen, okay? NASDAQ and S&P are going to be bringing the pressure to Bitcoin. Given that Bitcoin has a 70% correlation to the NASDAQ and the S&P, we would expect that the S&P are going to drop down and the NASDAQ to come back down into what? The vector candle point in the chart right here, which sits at 33.94, which means that could lead Bitcoin, because if it has a 70% correlation to the S&P, then we would expect Bitcoin to come down just that little bit more and finalize at the 15 zone. But we just don't know, because it's how traders are going to perceive the information that's going to be rolled out next week, ladies and gentlemen. We've got to be very cautious with that. If we go into the glass node itself, we're currently in capitulation. That's what this says. Net unrealized profit and loss for Bitcoin holders is showing right now they are in a capitulated state. They're hanging up the gloves. They are not interested in you anymore. They're just getting rid of their positions, which is shown by this capitulation chart right here. The only way that we can see Bitcoin going back up, guys, is if the dominance of the dollar does disappear. And it doesn't look like it's going to be happening anytime soon. The FOMC that gets rolled out this week on Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen, is going to dictate whether or not that traders are going to start seeking, because the fund rates themselves, guys, they're going for 75 basis points. Remember, 100 basis points will shock the market. Does the Fed want to shock the market? Okay? The problem they've got is inflation. There is still consumer spending. They're still spending money. Even if the labor market is still a bit tight, they're still spending money. So inflation's still a problem. Yeah, things are going up, but people are still spending money. On top of that, guys, you have the problem of oil going down. So oil has been dropping down. So that means people are spending money because they don't have to prioritize on saving it for oil or gas prices, for traveling, for work. They've now got a little bit of extra cash, so they're still going to be spending. Okay? With this information, ladies and gentlemen, we can play on the idea that Bitcoin can't go up or it has to go down. Just because we want Bitcoin to be cheaper doesn't mean it has to go down. Yeah, we got these imbalances in the chart. And I will say to you guys that this week, There will be surprise moves by Bitcoin. Bitcoin could shoot back up, recover the vector zone, and work its way back down again. Because this is a void in the chart. It's where liquidity is present by Mr. Market Maker. And he's got to make sure that he fulfills that obligation at some point in the charts. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, I hope this video has put things into perspective on what to expect with Bitcoin. We've got our vector candle points in the chart. We've got the news, and we know that we're going to be going into a volatile week this week. All I can say to you, ladies and gentlemen, is be careful when you are trading. Be mindful. Don't use too much leverage. Protect yourselves. Capital is king, so protect it. All right? If you are new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe so you can tune in with us. So we will bring that fire to you at the start of Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm anticipating to be going live during the FOMC, ladies and gentlemen, so we can catch that volatility, so I can help you guys make sense of the madness in Bitcoin in the book map as well. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see the absolute madness that's going off in this chart right now. Lots of commitment coming in because the markets will be opening in next hour's time. The Forex markets will be opening in 1 hour's time. Futures markets will do the same thing as well. So we're going to start seeing some movement in cryptocurrency and the Forex markets across the board. But remember, the UK is closed tomorrow for the Queen's funeral. So we will be down a pool of liquidity. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, if you are actually still new to the channel and it's your first time passing through here, remember, be sure to subscribe. And if you haven't done so already, check out the Discord of the Pattern Watchers, ladies and gentlemen, so you can tune in with the family over there and get acquainted with the understanding of the hybrid system. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Mad love. Peace.